possibly imagine. Feed what's left to my boys. Horse meat's their favorite. 1,
2, 3! Sorry. We're in a hurry. Oh, and, I'm not alone.
In 2010, the world came to an end. Angels and demons were fighting on Earth, destroying everything in their path. Humanity was on the back foot, but there was a middle ground to fight against the forces of heaven and hell, the Horsemen. In 2010, Darksiders had us play as the giant Horseman War. In 2012's Darksiders 2, we played as the leader of the Horsemen, Death, and in 2018, we were the deadly and quick Fury. But now the final Horseman cometh, Strife. Strife, however, isn't alone. Darksiders Genesis is out now, but how does Strife's adventure compare to the fellow Horsemen and this take on the Darksiders series? The story for Darksiders Genesis is as simple as hell is bad. Lucifer is trying to upset the balance by giving some of his demons more destructive powers, while Strife and War must restore balance. If you've never played a Darksiders game before, the 4 Horsemen report to a council called the Shard Council, and they maintain balance between heaven, hell, and humans. This is basic as fuck storytelling, but hey, I don't want to give away any spoilers or anything. They're great games, go play them. The game does start off a little bit confusing for newcomers, but the cutscenes are attractive to the eye. Even starting up the game for the first time, you'll be given this outstanding opening cinematic that basically tells you you're in for a wild ride.
Oh my, what in the hell? A hollow fiend! Get back!
Darksiders Genesis is a different game to the previous entries in the series. Rather than the third-person action game we got with a lot of references to The Legend of Zelda, we've got a Diablo-esque over-the-top dungeon adventure game. You'll play as the final Horseman Strife, or you'll be able to play as the original Horseman, and by original I mean the first Horseman you play as, War. Strife is more of an agile character who uses pistols and focuses on ranged combat, while War is close combat, dealing large amounts of damage with his signature sword. Strife is basically, for layman's terms, Deadpool, being a witty, fun character that takes everything as a joke, but also not as grating as Deadpool, while his counterpart War is Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy, taking everything seriously.
Nothing goes over my head. My reflexes are too fast. I would catch it.
I'm gonna die surrounded by the biggest idiots in the galaxy.
Some of the comedy and banter between these two characters is funny, and not only had me laughing, but had my wife laughing alongside me. Anyway, you'll be doing exactly what you see on screen. Defeating demons, performing fantastic executions, and even some decent platforming sections. If you're playing single player, you'll be able to swap between Strife and War at any time. If you're facing up against a heap of exploding demons, then you want to play a Strife, sit back and shoot. But if you need to bring the pain, then War is your dude.
You're entering a world of pain.
I'm not.
A world of pain.
Look, dude,
You'll also be able to change ammo types on Strife's guns, allowing for greater ways to play. When you start off, you'll only have basic ballistic rounds, but before long, you'll be able to use heavier rounds and deal loads of damage, but you won't fire as quickly. Depending on the level and area you're located in, you'll also be able to summon your horse and not only move faster, but also deal more damage. If you're indoors or standing on what's called a Horseman's Seal, you will not be able to summon your steed. Graphically, Darksiders Genesis isn't going to win any awards or do anything that you haven't seen before, but it's smooth as butter. The graphics are on par with Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 that we got on the Nintendo Switch last year. War and Strife look pretty damn good, and the boss fights are not only exciting to play, but also pretty to look at. At the start of each mission and scattered throughout missions, you'll also find summon stones. These will allow you to either play online with friends or split screen co-op.
I think we found a target.
Darksiders Genesis is a fantastic couch co-op game that takes me back to a simpler time. Remember when you'd sit on the couch with your friends playing video games for hours?
Petridge Farm remembers.
Oh, those were the days.
Split screen will, well, split the screen right down the middle, rather than tethering the players to share one screen and move together. With one player using Strife and the other using War, you'll need to work together, call out enemies, and even utilize each other's skills. War will be able to use certain abilities and gadgets that Strife cannot use, and in some puzzling areas, you'll need to brainstorm together on how to open doors. You're also not stuck playing as Strife or War in multiplayer. If your friend prefers to play as War, you both need to input the same command at the same time to swap characters, similar-esque to the LEGO games. Darksiders Genesis is entertaining and a fun game, but of course it's not without its flaws. During the game you move under bridges, under large doorways, and you'll see an outline of your character so you can keep track of where War or Strife is at all times. Unfortunately though, you cannot move the camera around to view the area from different angles. During some missions you'll be tasked with turning off seals or opening a door, and in some areas after we deactivated a seal, we got stuck on how to get back to the area, and it took us a moment jumping off ledges looking for grappling hooks to latch onto. The split screen is also vertical, making platforming parts of Darksiders Genesis more challenging as you can't see the whole area. If the split screen could be changed to horizontal, I think that would have fixed the issue somewhat. The Darksiders series is based around the 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse, yet it's a little strange that a game like Darksiders Genesis doesn't have 4-player couch co-op. It would be entertaining playing as all 4 Horsemen with 4 friends all sharing the same screen or online. We also got the first title having us play as War, then Death, then Fury, but sadly this is our first game with Strife and it isn't a third-person action puzzle game like the previous games are. This isn't a negative that we'll be factoring into our review, but look, we are a little bummed out.
You know, if Lucifer is as dangerous as the Council says he is, why'd they send just the 2 of us?
Death and Fury attend to other matters. It is not our place to question the will of the Council.
It's not my place to question your wardrobe, but I still think your armor could use some more creepy faces on it.
Must everything be a joke to you? The Council.
You really need to lighten up. The Council this and the Council that. You want to hear an actual joke?
No.
Knock knock. You're supposed to say, who's there?
Why would I give away my location? I would simply smash through the door and face my assailant.
You're hopeless.
Darksiders Genesis is a change of pace from the series, but it is without a doubt still enjoyable, brutal, and damn funny. If you're a fan of the Diablo series, Baldur's Gate, or even 2011's decent game that needs a Switch remaster Warhammer Kill Team, then Darksiders Genesis needs to be on your list. We need more stories told in this gripping world, and Darksiders Genesis keeps it alive. For more on Darksiders Genesis or gaming in general, check out the podcast Shaken Not Noob, found under the Shaken Not Nerd feed on your favourite podcasting app. Now if you want movies, pop culture, comics, and essentially everything else besides video games, check out the main podcast Shaken Not Nerd. You can find the links below in the description or find us on your favourite podcasting app or on Spotify.